Hello, hello, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home. My name is Catherine, and it really is good to be here with you today. I hope that all is well with you. I hope that things are going well for you. Well, this morning what I want to share with you is my harvest that I had a couple of days ago, that I had gathered my pumpkin and squash here because they were experiencing, the leaves of these plants, of these fruit, were experiencing powdery mildew and dieback. And so my husband and I decided that we wanted to harvest them and gather them and bring them in and start to eat them too. We have a lot of squash and pumpkins and winter squash growing throughout the garden here at Catherine's Garden and Home. Good morning, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. Well, I don't know if you received any of my seeds before, but those of you that received my pumpkin and winter squash seeds from last year, that I hope that you planted them, because if you did, then this is what is promised you. Yes, we planted the seeds, and this is what has come up so far from my garden. Now, we have harvested them early because of the fact that there is a lot of things going on with the leaves and powdery mildew on the side where the pumpkins are growing. So we decided to cut them off the vines and to clean up that section of the garden. And in the process, we've been able to harvest these butternut squash, which are so beautiful. And I love it like this because it's so fresh and tasty. Have you ever eaten a butternut squash that is just pink like this and fresh from the vine? It tastes so good, and you can even eat the skin because of the fact that it hasn't been sitting there for a long time. It's still fresh. We also harvested some of these other pumpkins here, and yes, they are green, these orange ones especially, but over time, if you let them sit in the sun or in a cool place for a little bit, they will start to turn orange. They will turn this beautiful orange color. So don't let that stop you from harvesting, but also from eating, because they're going to be delicious. It's going to be very tender. It's going to have a different taste. And so I just wanted to share this with you, and let's take a look at where they're coming from, you know, where I had harvested these pumpkins from. Now, it has been raining, and as I said, everything is just wet and just looking really good here on the deck. My deck garden is very, very healthy looking. And my husband had bought these mums from Lowe's during Labor Day season, you know, during the Labor Day weekend when they had them on sale. And I just put them together in this container here, and it just looks so beautiful. I love mums. I love the garden mums, and I love them close up. So I think that this just gives such a nice harvest appeal here on my deck. Last year, I gathered the seeds from the pumpkins that I really loved and the squash that I enjoyed eating, and I saved the seeds, and we then planted and created different little seedlings, and I had so many seedlings that I just started planting them all throughout the garden. I planted them in the front, in the back, on the side borders, and so I have a lot of pumpkin and a lot of squash that's growing in my garden, to the point where they're actually going over into the neighbor's yard, which is fine because whatever grows in their yard they can keep. Whatever pumpkins grow in their yard. And last year that's what had happened. They ended up having pumpkins too from our garden. So what I want to do is show you the area in which these pumpkins and squash came from, and you can see what has happened and what we're expecting to continue to harvest from those seedlings and plants that are up in that area. It is a little wild, it is a little woolly, it is unique, but one of the things that I've discovered is that the leaves of the pumpkin and also the flowers are edible. And that, you know, push comes to shove, if I needed some food or wanted some greens to add in my meals, I could just gather a couple of those leaves and saute them with my meal and have a really good, healthy meal. So that's something to remember. Yeah, so let's go. Come with me for a walk over into that area of the garden, and I want to show you where we got these squash and winter pumpkins, the winter squash and the pumpkins, where we gathered them from. And I want to encourage you that if you do buy pumpkins, save the seeds, save some of those pumpkin seeds, and just put them, you know, in the ground, put them in some soil and allow them to sprawl and grow, because then you'll have a nice harvest. And this harvest is going to be taking me into the fall. I'll have pumpkin for the fall, but then I'll also have pumpkin in the winter months. Yeah, all the way through December into January and February, I will still be eating from this source of pumpkin. I'm so excited. And it's good for you too. I just want to give you an update on my basil that I divided and transplanted into these into these pots. They were in that white container that I have the mums in, and now they are in these pots here, and you can see that they are doing very, very well. I uppotted them, gave them some fresh soil, and they're enjoying their lives. And I have been cutting them and using them in cooking. You can see the little tips there in which I've been cutting them, and they're just doing really, really good. And then here are the mums, and also my Japanese maple tree, because it has been uppotted in new fresh soil, and it has been raining. It has been raining so well. It's getting such fresh water that the leaves of the Japanese maple are looking really, really good. This is an update for you, and it's even starting to want to bud out. You could see where some new fresh growth is going to be coming in my my tree here. I gave it a really hard pruning, and it has benefited from this hard pruning. Well, I also divided these, and they are doing very well here. I have been using them too in cooking and for tea as well. So I just wanted to give you an update on the transplant and the garden here. It is a beautiful Thursday morning and everything is just looking so good. I just wanted to let you see what it looks like in this part of the garden. My husband planted the garden mums in, and they are looking so good here in this side by the big oak tree. And I wanted to show you this. This is a mums plant that we planted last year, and it is about to flower. So your garden mums, they do return if you plant them in and keep them well mulched, that they will return and give you another showing, another planting. They won't come out, because these have been forced, these mums here, mums that we got from Lowe's. But this one we planted in, and it's going to just go through its natural cycle. So we're going to get some nice color later on in the season. And then of course I have the squash that's just helping itself, just traveling and traveling some more. So in this area is where we gathered the squash that you see on the table there, and they were just getting really out of hand, but they looked the leaves look so good now since the rain has come in. But you could see that it's killing the grass. The grass is getting overgrown here, and it was pulling down my shrubbery here. So he decided to cut them, and we are going to have to do this cleanup. But yes, this is where we got the pumpkin and the squash. And I did show you, or pointed them out to you earlier and in other videos, so you can check that out. But as you can see, they have just grown over time. Those that we've left here, look at, they're all the way up in the lilac bush here, and just trailing through. And I do see some new squash developing, like for example right there, and up in here we can see some forming too, and of course here in this bed, which I call my urban, English style call it cottage bed, they are taking over, the squash plants are taking over and just pulling down everything. But I am not upset about that. Oh, look at this beautiful cosmos. The cosmos has decided to show up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And as you can see, look at that. They're just trailing through this, bed. And look up there. Let me just show you up here. Look at that. A pumpkin. Wow. I did plant some pumpkin starts in this area here, and you can see that they are just trailing through. Here's one developing right there, and also back over by the wall there that you cannot see anymore. So they are developing and they're doing their thing here. This is the first year that I actually planted a lot of pumpkins and winter squash because I had a lot of seeds from the year before. So that's why they're just having a heyday. But I'm not upset about that because of the fact that I will have a really good harvest of squash, winter squash, pumpkins, and that they last throughout the year. They're going to last throughout the year into the next year. The birds are so happy. Look at that bird up in the tree. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. Well, that's what you're hearing. Yeah. So the other thing that I want you to know is that, do you know that pumpkin and squash leaves are edible? I know that the flower is edible, the blossom is edible, but the leaves are edible as well. And they cook it just like how they cook spinach. The blossoms are edible. They use it as a garnish. And so this is a lot of food here in my garden. It's just that we have to start to think outside of the box and decide that we're going to eat our greens. Yes, but yes, the squash and pumpkin leaves are edible. So this is the side in which we have all of this going on, and it is exciting. And I still have my zinnias and other Cleome here. Look at this zinnia. Oh, that is so pretty. Let's see if I can focus. So I'm excited about this, which is going on here in my garden, and I'm looking forward to continuing to harvest the squash and all of the other things that the garden has to offer. I think I do have in here some of my okra that I need to harvest as well. Now, the downside about all of this, oh, look at that bee. The downside about this, with the squash trailing all the way through, is that it does pull down the other plants, and so we need to find another way. Oh, look at that. They do love, the bees do love this. We're going to have to find another way to really support all of this action. But in the meantime, I mean, this looks so good. Look at this. Isn't it so pretty? I love the flower. I love the squash flower. I think that's probably a pumpkin, the pumpkin flower. And yep. And if I were hungry, I would just cook myself up some squash leaves, and I would have plenty of food. Well, if you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. Did you plant any pumpkins? Do you have any pumpkin vines running through your garden? If so, leave a comment down below. And then tell me, what are some of the things that you're going to make with your pumpkins? Do you like to make pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread, smashed pumpkins, pumpkin seeds? What do you do with your pumpkin? And even still, if you'd like to add your recipe down at the bottom and share with this community, that will be welcomed as well, because that's the next step. What I'm hoping to do is to share some of my recipes, or even just try out new ways of cooking and preserving and keeping these pumpkins. Yeah, so leave a comment down below, and let's share as we grow, 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 grow together in Catherine's garden and home. That's right. Grow, 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 grow together. Grow, 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 grow together. Yeah, yeah. Grow, 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 grow together in Catherine's garden and home. Oh, yes. Have a great day, everybody. Love you. Bye.